China over the last few weeks has shocked India and shocked the world with some of the most aggressive language ever used between two countries. They've said, this could be another 1962 for you. This could be war if you don't behave yourself. Well, yesterday, in a state-owned newspaper, the Global Times, China and its government pretty much said, if you don't back off, telling all of us, if you don't back off, be prepared for a long-term conflict all along the India-China border. It's the most ferocious threat so far from China this season. Take a look. In a season of the fiercest ever word war between India and China, Beijing has just issued its most ferocious threat. Taking temperatures several notches up over the current Doklam standoff, Chinese state media today said Beijing doesn't fear going to war and that any escalation would see India face the consequence of an all-out confrontation. The Chinese government-owned Global Times newspaper, well known for its hawkish hardline, has still raised many eyebrows with the thundering tenor of this fresh threat of war. The Chinese state media editorial also calls on China to continue strengthening border construction and speed up troop deployment and construction in the Doklam area as legitimate actions of a sovereign country.
Sir, please take photograph. Sir, aise laga.
The commentary is the latest in the continuing fearsome rhetoric from Beijing over the June 16th standoff. This weekend, Chinese state media showed videos of a major Chinese military exercise in Tibet involving live-fire drills and anti-aircraft gunnery. As the Modi government grapples with the tense standoff with Chinese soldiers in the Sikkim area, China has confirmed that it won't be cranking down the ferocity of its saber rattling. Strategic and political emotions in Beijing are already running high, with India, the US and Japan concluding their mammoth Malabar naval exercise in the Indian Ocean yesterday. Its direct challenge to China clear for the whole world to see.
The aim of this 10-day-long trilateral exercise is to ensure that China does not bully smaller countries in this entire region. Somewhere down the line, there is a signal that's going out to the dragon to ensure that in these entire waters, whether it's in the North Arabian Sea or through the Malacca Strait or the South China Sea, the sea lanes of communication have to be maintained.
After drumming up war rhetoric over 1962 and employing historically offensive language to engage India over the border standoff in Doklam, China has decided against the wisdom of moderation, ironically pinning the blame on the Indian government. In fact, things are so tense that China's foreign ministry briefed diplomats in Beijing this week, telling them that an aggressive India was endangering relations on the border and was risking a totally avoidable escalation. With troops from both sides now locked in a tense embrace for over a month, China has taken the spotlight off the tiny trijunction and lit up the entire disputed border between both countries. With Anant Krishnan in Beijing, Bureau Report, India Today. Joining me live on 5 Live this evening, we have with us Executive Editor of India Today magazine, Sandeep Unithan, Executive Editor, India Today TV, Gaurav Sawant, and our Beijing editor, Anant Krishnan. Anant, I quickly want to come to you first. The Global Times, well known to be hawkish, well known for its hard line as far as India is concerned. But the thing we can't ignore, even in this season of very, very aggressive things that have come out in these Chinese mouthpieces, Anant, is that these editorials are definitely not a coincidence. They are vetted at the highest levels of the Chinese government. Here is Basically saying, if you don't back off, be prepared for the consequences, which could include a confrontation along the entire line of actual control with India, Anant. What are you making of this? Okay, I think we've got a bit of a problem there with Anant's line. We'll just get that back in a moment. Sandeep, could you take that question? What are you making of this threat from China at this time?
Well, Shiv, what we've seen in the last couple of days since the standoff in Doklam is an unprecedented three-front offensive by the Chinese. I mean, you're looking at military, where they have held live fire exercises in Tibet, we're told yesterday.
Yes.
You have the diplomatic angle where the foreign ministry spokesperson has been warning India. And of course, you have this very unprecedented series of this barrage of articles from the Chinese state-owned media warning of war. So, I mean, what we are looking at is pretty much an unprecedented, three-front campaign from Beijing in the, it's probably never happened in the history of India-China relations.
It hasn't happened in the history of India-China relations. These two countries have fought a war over half a century ago. But this language between the two countries has unnerved even the most seasoned China watchers. Gaurav, China saying back off or face consequences that could include confrontation across the entire line of actual control is the most aggressive thing China has ever said. How is the Indian government reading this? I mean, these may be sentences and columns of the Chinese state media, but we all know who endorses those comments before they're printed.
Shiv, sources in the government said this is a part of the Chinese psyops, their psychological warfare. Even before firing a single bullet, they're fighting a war in the mind of the adversary. So this media blitzkrieg that China has launched, whether it's showing you tank exercises happening in Tibet, we don't know where exactly are these exercises, or showing these multi-RT assaults or rockets firing, all of it shown, filmed by drone cameras, multiple angle cameras. All of this is almost like a Hollywood movie aimed to impress, and that's exactly what China is doing. It's playing a mind game. It's playing a war in your mind to weaken the adversary and then get the adversary to submit before or without firing a single bullet. So it's a battle of the nerves. It needs to be seen who blinks first and put things in correct perspective. So what we see even in the Indian media, Shiv, is a lot of Chinese perspective. What the Chinese are telling the world, and that's what they're leaking to their media and the world media. India is also talking to the entire world, and they are seeing the truth. And the truth is, it's the Chinese soldiers who've barged into Bhutanese territory. They're trying to build a road on a disputed territory. Bhutan is a small country. India is standing up for Bhutan. And what's the situation on ground? So you have a couple of hundred soldiers on the front, a couple of hundred behind them, perhaps another couple of thousands behind them, all unarmed. The only jostling that was initially seen was some chest thumping and nothing beyond that. No weapons, no bullets, no nothing. Have any troops moved? No. So there is no troop movement any side.
Okay, there's no troop movement any side. Psychological operations, Anant, saber rattling, raising of temperatures, internal consumption. We can call it what we want, but between these two very powerful countries, it's got to be disturbing when one of those countries says back off, or there's going to be something very bad going to happen across our entire line of actual control. The entire border could see a conflict, is what China has said through the Global Times.
No, it certainly is worrying. It's not just the Global Times, as you rightly mentioned. We've had it from the PLA, we've had it from the People's Daily, which republished an editorial that was, that was first published days before the onset of hostilities in 1962. So it's really very worrying. And I should just add that the Foreign Ministry just today made a very similar point, saying that there could be escalation if India doesn't withdraw. So it's very clear that the threats are coming from the government as well.
Yeah, the threat is coming from the government. Sandeep, what is the next step? The Doklam standoff has been on for more than a month now. It's been on for about 36 days now. There is no apparent, at least the media doesn't appear to know where things are headed. The government's keeping its own process very close to its chest. What are you hearing from your sources within the government? What is the way out? Obviously, it has to be diplomatic. War, conflict is unthinkable between these two giants. What is the way out?
Well, Shiv, as you rightly pointed out, The solution for this is diplomatic,
Yeah.
because the Indian Army very early on in this standoff has handed the initiative over to the Foreign Ministry, the Indian Foreign Ministry, to pursue with China. And what we've been hearing since is that diplomacy is the only way forward, and the government of India has indicated its firm resolve to stand by its ally Bhutan,
Yes.
which is the aggrieved party in this case. And let's not forget, it was the Bhutanese foreign ministry that issued the first statement asking the Chinese soldiers to vacate its territory. So India has made its stance very clear, and it's been very firm about it, and there's been absolutely no noise, no saber rattling, no war threat of the kind that we've been seeing emanating from Beijing. So while the foreign ministry continues its efforts to, achieve a diplomatic diffusing of this standoff, the Indian Army is prepared to, stand their ground. What we're hearing actually is that they will stand even in winter. They will continue to occupy the Doklam area even through the harsh winter, which is we were told earlier that there was chances of a climb down when winter began, that both sides would actually withdraw. But
so the Indian Army will stand even in the winter months if necessary.
That yes, they will stand there. We have held Siachen in the past. Doklam is another thing. If this is going to be another Siachen, so be it.
And the best part is the Indian Army hasn't announced it. The Indian government hasn't announced it. That's just there. You're hearing about it first here on India Today. China would have probably said so already, but the Indian Army will be there in the winter months if necessary. That's how long this particular standoff could actually stretch. It's an indication. Sandeep, Gaurav and Anand, thank you so much for joining us on this particular story. But obviously, that story isn't over yet. It's been a month and counting for that particular standoff in Doklam. Well, you've heard all the rumors about the king-size life that Queen Sasikala is enjoying behind bars in Bengaluru. Well, you can always trust India Today to get you the first video proof. Here it is. The video that you're seeing is the first footage of Sasikala behind bars. India Today has accessed this video from inside the prison, where convict Sasikala is seen taking a leisurely stroll. Not a bit of this video footage suggests any kind of duress, any kind of prison culture. She's taking a leisurely stroll. She isn't even in prison clothes. She's holding on to a packet of some kind. Such articles are not allowed inside prison. India Today has accessed a copy of the second part of DIG Rupa's report, and it appears to be completely vindicated by this video footage. The report contains startling details of how the AIADMK General Secretary Sasikala enjoys 5-star treatment in prison. Not only this, a separate meeting room inside the jail premises has been set up for Chinnamma to meet her special visitors, including most people from her family. The report further alleges that Sasikala wears her clothes in place of prison clothes. This video confirms that she's wearing a silk salwar kameez, not the prison uniform. And another convict cooks specially for her. No jail food, no mass food in the canteen for Sasikala. She gets specially cooked food by an identified jailmate, which she eats every single day, is what the report says. Let's go straight across to India Today's Rohini Swami, who scooped these images for us here. First, an exclusive on India Today. Rohini, DIG Rupa's report is under the spotlight right now. Many of the things she said had exploded over the last couple of days. These images appear to vindicate what DIG Rupa has said, but in a moment we'll also be saying what jail officials are saying about that report. But take us through these images and what they tell us and what you're hearing, Rohini.
Well, all the photos and the videos that are in the possession of our channel also corroborate all that DIG Rupa has mentioned in her report, be it the first report or the second report. Now, the first report also we've seen how she has detailed especially about Sasikala and the VIP treatment, but the second report is more damning because she's given blow-by-blow details as to how and what kind of special treatment that she's being given there. Now, we should also quickly understand there's a quick timeline to this. Rupa takes over as DIG of prisons on the 23rd of last month, and the 26th of that month she visits jail for the first time. On the 29th of that month, a doctor gets assaulted within jail, and that is when she files her first report. Then she decides to go and visit again. That is when she realizes that all is not well inside jail, and she gets into scrutinizing details. That is where we see the first proper report coming out, which she submitted to her seniors. The second report was based on her second visit, and that has CCTV images, photographs and videos. So nothing can get more conclusive or solid than the evidence that she has right now. But now it is also up to the Karnataka government to accept all these evidences and accept that there is a problem and try to correct or right the wrong.
Please stay with me for a moment. After she paid this heavy price for honesty, DIG Rupa spoke exclusively to India today, assuring that she will keep fighting for the truth, but she has been refuted by jail officials as well. So it's now a face-off between Rupa and others who've worked or still work inside the prison. Take a look.
You stand by your report?
Yes, I stand by my report.
With all the evidence and all the video, because you said that these are clearly the evidences that what is happening within Bangalore Central Jail.
I stand by my report, and there is evidence.
So what does she have in her room? Can you tell us?
It is only the normal 10 into 15 room with a toilet and toilet that is there in everybody's room, and she's having provided with a small TV and also beds where SA prisoners can have their own bedding and clothing. That's all. And university, because she's taking 18 tablets per day, she's advised by medical doctor to provide a cot because on medical grounds she has got. That's all. Sasikala sleeps on the floor.
You know, Rohini, I know this is a difficult question, but you have the best sources. You know, ever since this controversy broke, ever since the national media spotlight has been lingering over Parapana Agrahara prison, has there been any change inside? Or is Sasikala still apparently enjoying those same facilities?
Well, as of now, what we are given to understand, the facilities are the same, because the argument that is being put by the jail authorities is that not that she has 5 cells, she has just 1, but the other cells next to her are empty, and that is because she has a huge security concern. And the argument again that the jail authorities are putting in terms of separate food being cooked for her is that somebody could poison her and there could be a threat to life. So obviously things continue to be in the same way, because they are coming up with your versions and saying, and rather coming up with the versions to say that what they're doing right now is right and is according to court orders. You heard the jail authority also saying that Ilarasi has medical issues,
yes,
and that is why she's been provided a cot. We also know for sure that Sasikala also is being provided a cot and bedding, which other prisoners do not have the luxury of. They do not have the luxury of an LED TV. They do not have a luxury of a conference room where they can meet the visitors separately. You know, interesting, just that point of that conference room, what they were arguing was that the conference room, maybe because the visitors gallery was so full, they had to move the visitors to another place. But the question is, why is there no CCTV grabs of that?
Absolutely.
So clearly, you know, they are caught in the back foot.
They are definitely caught on the back foot. But former DIG Prisons, Rohini, thank you for the moment. Former DIG Prisons, the whistleblower cop who really started this entire controversy, D. Rupa Maudgil, assumes charge after she was transferred yesterday in a controversial move as DIG Traffic today. She said that she is only following her orders. Rupa was transferred, as you remember, soon after her explosive reports on that Bribegate scandal inside the prison. DIG Rupa's reports exposed special favors given to convict Sasikala and how jail authorities were bribed for doing so. DIG Rupa's reports addressed the DGP prisons, Satyanarayan Rao, and alleged that the DGP himself was aware of those irregularities.
No comments on all such things. Government has its own right to transfer officers. I followed the orders.
Madam, it is said that you have been possibly you have been asked to sign few documents today.
Well, let me join my post, please. No comments on anything. I followed orders.
Whether you have been asked.
I am very thankful to Madam Kiran Bedi, and she's a crusader, and support from her is very invaluable for me. I'm very thankful for that.
She's a very honest, and whatever the things were going on inside the prison, she has come out and has written a letter. For that, government would have taken action. Before inquiry, she has been transferred. That means no honest office can continue in any important places. That is the Siddaramaya's intention. Entire country is opposing this, and in Karnataka, more than 95% of people are opposing this. And I don't know the reason, because in irrigation and other so many important departments, there are so many irregularities going on, corruption is going on. Though he wants to stop in this way to threaten the honest officers.
So what is your next course of action? Are you raising the issue in
Today we are going to raise in the parliament if necessary, and we are going to sit dharna in front of Mahatma Gandhi in Lok Sabha.
And coming up next on 5 Live, why is superstar Kamal Hassan suddenly enemy number one for the Tamil Nadu government? What has he done that has got the Palanisamy government in Chennai so angry? Just days after Kamal Hassan criticized the Tamil Nadu government and accused the government of corruption, the actor is facing an enormous volcano of flack from the ruling party, the AIADMK. Minister of Finance in the Tamil Nadu government, Jayakumar, has not only lashed out at Kamal Hassan, saying that the actor should join politics if he has the guts. Earlier, Minister for Law and Prison Affairs, C.V. Shanmugam, alleged that Kamal Hassan would publicity and money. The minister said that Kamal Hassan should be arrested under the Prevention of Atrocities Act for insulting socially backward people. Tamil Nadu Minister S.P. Velamani also threatened Kamal Hassan and stated that if the actor continues to abuse the government, then action will be taken against him. Meanwhile, the DMK has been seen backing the actor, obviously. MK Stalin, DMK leader, said, and I quote, "Not just a politician, but anyone has the right to criticize the government."
Kamal Hassan அவர்கள் பணத்திற்காக தன்னுடைய ஆதாயத்திற்காக எதையும் செய்யக்கூடிய ஆள் என்பது இப்போது நிரூபணமாக இருக்கிறது. பணத்திற்காக இன்னைக்கு பிக் பாஸ் என்ற ஒரு நிகழ்ச்சி நடத்தி கொண்டிருக்கிறார். அதை நடத்துவது அனைத்துமே அவருடைய முழு அவருடைய ஏற்பாட்டின் பேரில் தான் நடைபெற்று கொண்டிருக்கிறது. அந்த நிகழ்ச்சியிலே மிகவும் சமுதாயத்தில் பின்தங்கிய மக்களை விமர்சிக்கின்ற வகையிலே, அவரை தரந்தாழ்த்து பேசுகின்ற வகையிலே, தன் மேலாதிக்கத்தினுடைய அந்த ஜாதி உணர்வை காட்டி அந்த மக்களை தரந்தாழ்த்தி இன்றைக்கு பேசியிருக்கிறார். அவர் மீது வன்கொடுமை சட்டத்தின் மீது வழக்கு பதிவு செய்து நடவடிக்கை எடுக்க வேண்டும் என்று.
All right, I want to join now from Chennai by C. Rajshekharan, a very well-known lawyer and also supporter of the ruling AIADMK. Also with us is R. Kannan of the DMK. Mr. Rajshekharan, what are you making of this? I mean, isn't it looking silly? Isn't it looking a little stupid and childish that minister after minister after minister in this government in Tamil Nadu is, abusing Kamal Hassan, one of our most well-known actors, globally respected, a man who's considered to be a little outspoken. But why are they daily pouring abuse on him, sir?
Shiv, first I'll make one point very clear. I am the supporter of Madam Jayalalitha's government because the people of Tamil Nadu voted Madam Jayalalitha for her good governance and good administration. Likewise, I would expect this government to follow the legacy of good governance and good administration and not indulge in any kind of corruption. Because people of Tamil Nadu have full faith in the whole system which they are voted. But today, Mr. Kamal Hassan as an actor has all the right. Freedom of speech and expression is given to everybody.
Yes.
They can just say whatever they want within the purview of their limits and law. See, you cannot say, I don't support the statements of these ministers who are making some bizarre comments against an actor because he's an actor. It's his wish and prerogative to do whatever show he wants. And there is a regulating body, BCCC, Broadcasting Complaints Council is there. If they want any issues with the Big Boss program, they can go before the BCCC and file a complaint. There ends the matter. But I mean, threatening through the media and public meetings and all this is not advisable and good for the government, and the people wouldn't appreciate, because when Kamal Hassan had a problem in his movie Vishwarupam, then also it was Madam Jayalalitha who ensured that the movie should be released after an amicable settlement between the people who are opposing the movie. Because I was a party to it on behalf of fans, Kamal Hassan fans. I had appeared for Kamal Hassan in the court. So I am aware of what really happened. And some interpreted it in the wrong way that even Jayalalitha opposed Kamal Hassan. That is not right.
R. Kannan, why is the government sounding so desperate? While the government is under pressure at this point of time, why are they so desperate? Is Kamal Hassan simply a soft target because this government is already under huge criticism? They don't know what to do, therefore they found a nice enemy, a nice soft target. in superstar Kamal Hassan. Mr. Kannan.
Shiv, I do not think that Mr. Kamal Hassan is a soft target. He might look soft, but I don't think he is one. He's a very well-respected individual, an actor, a commentator. He had spoken out on many occasions.
Yes.
This government is made up of political midgets, and you can see that they are stung to the quick, because what Mr. Kamal Hassan has said is the reflection of most of the local and the Tamil populace here. This government is reeking of corruption. It is a government which is incompetent. It is one of the ministers has called him a third-rate actor.
Yeah.
It's a government of fourth-rate people. And Mr. Rajashekharan had made my job easier actually batting for Mr. Kamal Hassan. This is a government that has to go. These are ministers who have no credibility, who have been, Mr. Velumani has been found by income tax authorities as one of those who would be a conduit to distribute 14 crores. Even the very chief minister is named in these documents. This is a government of political pygmies.
Okay, political midgets. Mr. Rajashekharan, take that.
Ambition.
Mr. Rajashekharan, take that. What Kannan of the DMK says, is that this is pretty much the last straw. This is a demonstration that this government is not fit to rule. They should simply step down because they've got no better work to do than to issue threats to a person like Kamal Hassan. It shows how low things have gone since the death of Jayalalitha, Mr. Rajashekharan.
Shiv, I could understand Kannan's whatever complaints he's making, because he is the man who wrote a book about Anna and MJR.
Yes.
The life of MJR and other books. So he is a fan of MJR. So he wants the government to follow the legacy of MJR. But unfortunately, the legacy of MJR and legacy of Jayalalitha is being slowly forgotten. And definitely, if Madam Jayalalitha was alive, all these ministers wouldn't dare even appear before the media or anywhere in the public space giving their opinions. They were only just ministers. Today we see so many ministers. It's a free for all in Tamil Nadu. And the government should take all this into account, and the chief minister should intervene and ensure these kind of loose cannons are not allowed to make such comments in the public space. And it is going to create bad reputation and bring bad name to the government and the state. It is not good for the state and the people, because people expect more good governance and good administration from the state and the ministers. The chief minister seems to be some workaholic man. He wants to deliver some good schemes to the people. That's what I understand from his recent assembly speech.
What schemes to the people, Mr. Rajashekharan? No, you can't defend the chief minister. If you've got his senior ministers abusing a person like Kamal Hassan every day, why isn't EPS stepping in and telling them to shut up and concentrate on their work?
Yes, I agree with you. But I'm sorry, I don't know what is happening inside the cabinet and the state government machinery. I would appeal to the chief minister and the concern to stop making these kind of bizarre and absurd statement in the public space against anybody. Forget about Kamal Hassan.
Yes.
Kamal Hassan is an actor. Likewise, anybody. See, they should maintain that basic decency and their ethics in politics.
No, this is very important. I hope Chief Minister Palaniswamy is watching this show, frankly, because one never sees him on camera. So I hope maybe at least there's a hope that he's sitting at home watching 5 Live this evening, because one of the biggest supporters of the AIA-DMK, Mr. C. Rajashekharan, has basically sent out an earnest request that the Chief Minister should step in, tell each of those ministers to shut up, do their work and stop abusing people,
I agree.
whether it's Kamal Hassan or anybody else.
Kannan,
this may make your job easier, but the message to the people is very clear. These ministers may be abusing Kamal Hassan, but isn't this also a message to the public that we care only about corruption, we care only about hiding things, and we will abuse anybody who tries to attack us or question us?
Shiv, I need to, this is, Mr. Rajashekharan had painted the chief minister as a workaholic. I'm not so sure that the chief minister is a workaholic, and you've very rightly pointed out that his silence is sphinx-like. He's not out there We don't know what exactly he does. On a month earlier, June 6th, 16, 17 ministers came out, and these are supposedly aligned to the chief minister, who came out to say that Mr. TTV Dinakaran should be off from public life and from AADMK affairs. The chief minister keeps a very studied silence on many of these things. This government, we have a major issue. As Mr. Stalin had rightly pointed out, my party leader had pointed out, this is what Mr. Kamal Hassan had said is the reflection of the majority of these people, what we think here. We are in a position where we are unable to immediately bring down this government, because this government, because of power and the greed to make money, has the legislative majority.
Yeah.
And we will have to wait for some miracle to happen, for these factions to fight it out, and that power and money alone cannot hold them together.
Yeah.
And then we will have a reprieve. The people of Tamil Nadu will get a reprieve, because we are very, very confident that people are sick and tired, and they are looking out for an opportunity to vote the DMK to power, because we can provide a stable and a clean administration.
No, that you cannot take it for granted, because it is the people's mandate. It is till 2021, and the people will vote the right party in the future.
Yeah, but
you cannot take for granted that people would vote DMK for sure, because a long way to go.
No, there is no question that, there is no question. I will be very frank with both of you gentlemen. There is no question that any of these stories that we report here means that AIADMK is bad and DMK therefore as a result is good. We are only focusing on what is happening right now. But Mr. Rajshekaran, taking off from Mr. R. Kannan's point,
yes.
The question now is, and you appear to be agreeing so far today, but the question now is, the perception is going to be that this government is a little desperate. There is no discipline. There is no decorum. They are choosing battles that are terribly damaging to their own image. Kamal Hassan is not only an icon in Tamil Nadu, but an icon in India and an icon all around the world. A highly respected, very opinionated actor. You know him personally as well. Is this a government that is simply not thinking? Because I grew up in Tamil Nadu. I am a Chennai boy as well. My sense is, why is this government allowing its ministers to indulge in such attacks? I can understand, Mr. Rajshekaran, if it was one minister on one occasion losing his temper and saying, who is this guy, he should be arrested. But 3 ministers, Mr. Rajshekaran, 3 senior ministers of this government on 3 separate occasions, on 3 separate days, have found it appropriate to attack Kamal Hassan, which appears to suggest that there is a design here and there may be an endorsement from EPS, who you say is a workaholic.
Shiv, I totally agree on that statement which you said, that the allegations you made or the factuals you had reported. Because 3 ministers, making very harsh statements against an actor. And I only see this like this. Say, to be very honest, they are only forcing Kamal Hassan to take a political plunge. And I would say, if Kamal Hassan is a rational thinker and he has got his political wishes away from all these elections and other areas of what the politicians aspire. But today, the statements of these ministers is only strengthening Kamal Hassan to take a political plunge.
Exactly.
I would even go up to the extent, if Rajinikanth and Kamal Hassan join together, you take it from me, they will sweep the elections, sweep Tamil Nadu polls.
Oh, that will be...
In fact, these ministers are only paving way to that. And it's very unfortunate why these ministers are making these kind of statements, and they are only forcing these kind of actors who are doing their job as acting, and they are participating in some reality show. Their NC matters.
That's
they should ignore it.
No, that's a fantastic point.
So much importance.
That's a fantastic point. Apart from the political void, I think the things that these people are saying, even if actors may be sitting on the fence about politics, maybe some of these attacks will actually convince some of these actors to take the next step and plunge. We don't know about Rajinikanth, but we know that Kamal Hassan is much less of an introvert. He speaks his mind. He's more comfortable being in the media spotlight. He says controversial things. He says things even if they may be unpopular.
Above everything, he is from Madurai district.
He's from
Paramakudi.
He's from Madurai district.
He's from South Tamil Nadu.
Yes, he's from South Tamil Nadu. He's from Madurai district. He's used to facing protests, which he apparently is facing even now from the Hindu Makkal Kachi. Gentlemen, stay with me. I want to bring in my correspondent Priyamada in on this story as well. Priyamada, we haven't heard, we've heard from Kamal after the Hindu Makkal Kachi started protesting against him. But what about these serial attacks from the AIADMK's 3 ministers? Has Kamal responded to that? What is in his mind right now, Priyamada? Okay, we'll just get Priyamada back. Mr. Kannan, at this point of time, I know that the DMK is a principal rival of the AIADMK. Everyone knows that. At this point of time, the 2 superstars, you've got the two of Tamil Nadu's biggest cinema superstars, Rajinikanth and Kamal Hassan, both, in a kind of similar story. Are they going to join politics? Will they make a good politician? The same sorts of questions were asked first about Rajinikanth. Now, as Mr. Rajshekharan said, they're going to be asked about Kamal Hassan as well. Do you agree with that? That, this bickering, these attacks would actually make it simpler and they only amplify the void, the political void that exists in Tamil Nadu today?
Shiv, public life, firstly, our party welcomes anyone to be in public life and to contribute what they can. So we are not against anybody coming in, and we do not see any of these people. There is room for everyone.
Welcome someone like a Kamal Hassan into your fold?
Say this is. We'll be very happy if he were to support the DMK. Why not? We welcome support from anyone.
No, definitely. Why would he support DMK?
We have a
Shiv, I'll come in.
We have a party which is which is more than 60 years old, which is given a good administration where we do not see any political void. We can fill that void. Mr. Rajashekharan might think that Tamil Nadu had come to an end after the late leader Jayalalitha's death. Life goes on. India had moved on after Nehru. The DMK had moved on after our late leader Anna. So leaders will emerge.
Okay.
And we welcome these 2 actors to come.
Okay, so there's no political void. If there's a political void, the DMK is totally equipped to fill it. Rajshekharan, that's a direct response to you. But you also wanted to reply to Mr. Kannan on the prospect of Kamal Hassan joining the DMK. Respond, Rajshekharan.
Shiv, to be very honest to you, see, there is a huge vacuum because though I have my difference about DMK and I don't support them for so many other reasons, but I really miss Mr. Karnanidhi, the DMK patriarch. He was really a Chanakya, political Chanakya, but he is not active today. See, Karnanidhi is not active, the DMK leader, and late Jayalalitha is no more. Definitely there is a huge vacuum in the state of Tamil Nadu when it is to politics.
Okay.
See, now people of Tamil Nadu want a corrupt-free government, a corrupt-free leader, and an iconic figure. And all this, I think the situation is ripe for Kamal Hassan and Rajinikanth to take a plunge like MGR and Shivaji of those days. Because, see, all said and done, both are 67 years. They understand Tamil Nadu than anything. But Kamal Hassan now is being forced. Because I think he will not wish to enter politics. But these kind of statements from the ruling party are literally threatening them on his face.
I agree.
Don't appreciate it because when he had an issue, even Madam Jayalalitha did not make such statements.
No, I think
I was there. I was in the field.
Absolutely.
She said he is an elderly person. Yeah, he is a 64-year-old man and he should not behave like this. Let him not go out of India. We are here to there. We'll take law and order.
Let me ask Priyamada. Priyamada is back with me. Let's find out. Priyamada, if you can hear me, I hope you still can. 3 ministers across 3 days have abused Kamal Hassan, said he should be arrested. He has no shame. He loves money. He loves publicity. I don't know where it can go from here. But we haven't heard from Kamal Hassan. Do you have any insight into how Kamal Hassan is reacting to these serial attacks from the Palaniswamy government, Priyamada?
Well, actually, Shiv, Kamal Hassan has been reacting in his own typical sarcastic, indirect ways. Look at his tweets in the last 2 days. Now, that is Kamal Hassan for you. He's not going to give a direct reply. It might take some time for him to probably process and understand. And also, I completely disagree with Mr. Rajshekharan. I don't think Kamal Hassan, if I know him well for the last 10 years or so, he's not the person who's going to take a decision of plunging into politics because of the comments made by these ministers. He lives on his own terms. He makes decisions on his own terms. So even now he's responding through Twitter on his own terms and in his own subtle ways, saying that justice will prevail and he is a free man to make free statements. He is a person, end of the day, who believes in being enjoying the freedom of speech. So I really doubt whether these ministers can politically push him to take a decision of entering politics. But I wouldn't be surprised that Kamal Hassan is already in a way has become an activist, a person who voices the concern of the people. He's not probably a politician who has something inside his mind and he wants to say something else outside. No, he would continue to enjoy the freedom. He's a true artist. So I would see a very different evolution. I have in fact seen a very different evolution of Kamal Hassan from the days when he completely avoided media to days where he's extremely friendly with media and active on social media, voicing concern for the social issues, from the time when he was concerned about movies and filmmaking and art of filmmaking, to reaching out to people now through his art in his own way. So I have seen that evolution, and the evolution could be further down in a different way than what Mr. Rajshekharan
Absolutely. You know, in fact, you know, Mr. Rajshekharan, when you said, Priyamada, thanks for that. When you said, you know, the time is ripe for Kamal Hassan to become a politician, I want to tell you, and I think you also remember this, a few weeks ago, we actually asked Kamal Hassan, you know, when will you become a politician? Do you have any plans? And you know what his reply was, Mr. Rajshekharan and Mr. Kannan? Kamal Hassan told us, I am already a politician. I am a citizen of Tamil Nadu, I am a citizen of India, and therefore I am already a politician. I say what I want, I criticize the government, I am free since this is a democracy, and therefore I have within me some political power to say what I say. So Priyamada is actually right, isn't she, Mr. Rajshekharan? That Kamal Hassan doesn't need to become a politician. He has been endorsed as a politician by the ministers of this government.
Shiv, see, I beg to differ in Priyamada's opinion, because I am not the spokesperson of ADMK, but I support the ADMK government because the mandate given to Madam Jayalalitha and this government for good governance. I want this government to continue the legacy of good governance and all the welfare schemes what Madam Jayalalitha had a vision of the state.
Yes.
Because I don't want these ministers to behave in this kind of manner and make bizarre comments against actors, any actor.
Yes, because that's the only thing they appear to be in a mood to do at this point of time. They don't appear to be in a mood to do anything else, but hopefully that will change. Let's see if there'll be a fourth minister who will come out and abuse Kamal Hassan now. R. Kannan, C. Rajshekharan, thank you so much as always, gentlemen, for joining us on 5 Live this evening. We're taking a very quick break. On the other side, Karnataka wants its own state flag. The state of Karnataka wants its very own flag. You heard that right. Chief Minister Siddaramaiah of Karnataka has ordered a 9-member committee in his state to design a separate flag for Karnataka. The committee, headed by a principal secretary at the Department of Kannada and Culture, will study the possibility of designing a separate flag for Karnataka and providing it statutory standing in the country. Well, this push for a separate flag comes after anti-Hindi protests have been widespread in the state. Members of the committee that will design this new flag include secretaries to the Departments of Personnel and Administrative Services, Home, Law and Parliament Affairs.
Sir, they're calling it anti-national. So there is a tricolor already. There is already a tricolor. Why a separate Karnataka flag is the question that's being raised, sir.
Is there any provision in the constitution which is prohibiting a state to have its own flag? Any provision in the constitution? Have you come across any provision in the constitution?
No, sir. No, sir. There is.
Did BJP people come across the provision? Then why they are raising?
Why before election is this divisive politics?
The election will be in the month of April, May, not now, not tomorrow.
Sir, they say
not next month.
Sir, they say that you cannot have a separate state flag.
They do not want a flag for Karnataka state. let them make a statement. We do not want a flag in Karnataka state.
So now what is? So they say that it's a political gimmick played by Congress government because you can't have state flag.
BJP people always make such false allegations.
In the federal structure of India, we have only one flag, that's the national flag. And Karnataka is not an independent nation, it is a state. Unless Karnataka becomes a separate nation, we can't have any demand for a national flag.
A very politically sensitive issue, a separate flag for a state. The only other state in the country that has its own flag, of course, is Kashmir. Nolan Pinto joins us live from Bengaluru. Nolan, what is the end game? What is the objective, political or otherwise, that the Siddaramaiah government is trying to achieve with this separate flag game?
Well, Shiv, after going through what's all happening throughout the day, it looks like it's election and elections. Nothing else in the minds of the Chief Minister along with his cabinet colleagues and the entire Congress party in the state. Now, we must remember, a point was very clearly made some time ago. It looks like the Chief Minister has taken a cue from the anti-Hindi protest that took place a few weeks ago. So based on that, he's decided that regionalism is what might help the Congress to win in the state next year. So we saw what happened last time, no Hindi over here, and now he's decided to come out with a Karnataka or a Kannada flag. He says that there were two activists who actually sent a recommendation to the government, and based on their recommendations, they have decided to do this. But now I want to remind people that these recommendations were sent, not recommendation, the letters were sent way back in 2014.
Right.
So 15, 16, 17, what was the government doing for 3 years if they really wanted to do something? This is why the BJP says there are two things over here. One, with this issue, the government is trying to divert the attention from the D. Rupa issue, the drama that took place in the jail, to here, and also start building up here on regionalism so that you'll get votes.
Like you said, it's election and election. Nothing else explains this move at this time. Nolan, thanks very much. We'll keep a track of that story. That's it on 5 Live. Thanks so much for watching. Ankit has the headlines on the other side of this very short break. Stay with him.